Yeah, hi there and welcome to tuxache.com. Probably you noticed that Skillum released their HDR tool in version Aurora HDR2019 a couple of days ago, and they state out that the new version 2019 works with AI to improve the HDR results and a couple of other changes in the new version. So let's make a short comparison between Aurora HDR 2018 and the new 2019 version. Okay, I prepared a couple of images for comparison between Aurora HDR 2018 and the 2019 version. We just take those TIFF files. As you probably know, I optimize the images first before I handle them over to any HDR tool, but of course both HDR 2018 and the 2019 version of course can handle RAW files if you prefer that in your workflow. Okay, that's a result in HDR 2018. You see a little bit of ghosts here in the moving clouds. And now we do the same in HDR 2019. I feel like that the new Quantum HDR engine is a little bit faster than the older version. And if you compare here 2019 version and here the 2018 version, there is less of saturation and clarity, which leads to images which will not right away identify themselves as HDR images. Okay, take another example. We take like this sunset, do it for 2018. Say alignment, even though the base images were created with a tripod. Here you got the 2018 version. Now do the same with the 2019 to auto alignment and create the HDR. Same result here. The 2019 version is less colorful in comparison to the 2018 version, but of course you can repair that if you want in the image processing. Okay, now we do a last example. This time we use RAW files. That is pretty dark, but okay. And do the same with the 2019 version. Okay, this one is overall brighter and less vibrant and less saturated. So it's faster generated, so at this point HDR 2019 might be the better version. But as a last comparison, and it's both versions are affected, we take again the raw files again. Oh, mark this one. I want to show it to you only in the 2019 version. Now if we do ghost reduction, and to show the effect I get the darkest image as a reference and say highest amount, auto alignment and create HDR. Even though ghost reduction is only necessary if you have persons walking around between the images or something like that. Now you get an effect if you do deghosting on the images, you get a lot of noise in the shadow areas, and this is an effect that is not acceptable. But to show you that there is a tool makes it better, we just open those images with Photomax Pro. We have here alignment settings and the options for deghosting. That is a pretty dark example, but even if I do automatic deghosting based on the darkest image, now we have a pretty good looking HDR final result. And as you might see, the amount of noise in this example isn't even noticeable. That is 100%. If I go higher in the enlargement, you won't even notice it in the final images. So deghosting or using a deghosting option in Aurora HDR is probably not the best choice. Okay, the Quantum HDR engine is indeed a little bit faster than Aurora 2018, and the colors are more natural, not so saturated like in Aurora HDR 2018, and the results are pretty pleasing. But if you need the deghosting tool, okay, I exaggerated the effect a little bit. You get errors in the final result, noise and color fringes and so on. That's to me an absolutely no-go. And if you answer the question, should I update? If you don't need deghosting for sure, it might make sense if you're used to Aurora HDR. But if you get into HDR as a beginner or a new one, you might as well start out with Lightroom, which has a good HDR tool. Or if you want a free of charge tool to play around with it, SNS HDR Lite might be also an alternative. But if you want to get into serious HDR making, my choice would be Photomax, because it is more natural. You have a lot more tool settings for it. Okay, you have no layers like in Aurora HDR, but the layers are not compatible. But to me that would be the better choice, and it is even a little bit more cheaper than Aurora HDR 2019. So if you have any questions to Aurora HDR 2019 or HDR photography in general, just place them into the comments. And I would like if you like this video, and even more if you subscribe my channel. Till next time, ciao, tux oche.